What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome to the Officer Tatum Show. I got a lot of sugar honey iced tea to talk to you guys about because I am doing the right thing. The haters can't keep my name out of their mouths. Shout out to this incredible studio. I'll let you guys know where I'm at later. I don't need nobody doxing me, but Don Lemonhead, D.L. Hughley, they can't stop talking about me. And there's a new a person arrested for threatening Warren's stepmother, and we're going to talk about all of that on the show. Welcome to the Officer Tatum Show.
I want everybody in this room to have that same spirit, that same identity carried in your life.
Make sure that you go through life and find your purpose.
And we don't do this just to get a pat on the back. We do it because we came here to win.
And it starts with you understanding that God has a purpose for you.
This is the time to be more bold than ever before.
We're all Americans at the end of the day, and we should love one another. We should be focused on what's right for our country.
You're good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to all of the members, all of the new members that have joined the membership program, whether you're a rookie or whether you have promoted all the way up to deputy chief. I really appreciate you. I love you guys the same. And the way I look at the support or people that support me is that you're supporting at the level in which God has blessed you to be able to support. So I appreciate all of you guys exactly the same. I love you. And it's because of you that I keep fighting a good fight. Make sure you download the podcast, The Officer Tatum Show on the podcast network, and also my Substack. I write Substacks on all the major things that I cover for those who love or rather read than look at the video or just audio. But let's get into the first topic. And I need to clarify this, or not clarify, I just want to establish this. Because in my mind, let me tell you guys this. I'm thinking of my cousin and my mama and my auntie and them watching this stuff and watching these people talk about me. And I feel like it's more of the lies that are put out there versus what the truth is. Let me just real quickly debunk a few things and let you guys know how I even got involved in this in the first place. And I'm going to demand an apology for some of these people who are out here lying on my name, including DL, some of these other fools, Benjamin Crump. They're all lying to you guys and being disingenuous about my position in this. First and foremost, let me show you guys evidence that I reached out to Benjamin Crump before I ever heard from Nicole, Warren, any of these people. I didn't even hear from them. I had no idea that they even wanted to talk to me. They messaged us, and I'll show you the email here in a second, but they messaged us on a communication thing. I forget what is it called? Contact form. We reached out to Benjamin Crump and them first, and they refused to talk to me. Let me show you the email. I think we got to pull it up right here. I'm gonna read it to you. It says, "Dear Media Relations Team," and this is directly at press@bencrump.com. And the reason we know this is his email because they responded to us after the 5th time, claiming that they didn't want to do any interviews, yet they went on Cuomo, and they also went on Don Lemon just recently. But let me read you what we said, and you tell me, is this reasonable, fair, and that this should be reasonable for them to at least respond to us the first 4 times. All right, this is the first thing that we said. We said, "Dear Media Relations Team, I hope that you're doing well. I'm reaching out on behalf of the Officer Tatum," and this is my show director reaching out to them, reaching out on behalf of the Officer Tatum Show to invite Benjamin Crump, or attorney Ben Crump, to join Brandon for a discussion regarding the Nolan Wells case. The Officer Tatum Show reaches millions of viewers each month across YouTube, podcast platforms, and social media, with a combined audience of more than 3 million subscribers and followers. Given the public interest surrounding this case, we believe our audience would benefit from hearing Mr. Crump's perspective directly. We believe our audience wants to hear from Benjamin Crump and his perspective, to give him the same opportunity, the same dignity to present to you guys just as well as I gave the boys that reached out to us. Let me continue. Officer Tatum values respectful conversations and welcomes dialogue with guests from a variety of backgrounds and viewpoints. He would appreciate the opportunity to give Mr. Crump a platform to speak directly to his audience and share his thoughts on the case. The interview would be conducted via video call, last approximately 30 minutes, and we are happy to work around Mr. Crump's schedule to accommodate his availability. Please let us know if there's any interest in coordinating an appearance. Thank you for your time and consideration. Grant put his stuff in there. They know it's coming from me. We have an official email where they can attach the domain to legitimacy on our show. So there's no Gmail or nothing like that. We have an official email. They responded to us, just so you know, on the 5th try and said they don't want to interview after they've seen 4 attempts. And that is proving, go back, let's put the date out there for people so they know that we are clearly telling you the truth. July the 16th at 9:30 a.m. Now let's go to the first time we got anything from Warren's stepmother. Let's go to that. So my executive assistant reached out or sent the message to Grant, my show director and producer. She said, "Hi team, I received this last night via our event forms," which is really not the form that a person would reach out to us on. They would reach out to us on a contact form, but this is the events form. It says, "Not sure if this is legitimate, but assume something we should follow up on. Please advise." So she sent the screenshot, which we redacted because we don't want anybody's personal information out there. It was a screenshot of the form and the contact information from Warren's stepmother. Then my executive assistant, who is incredible and absolutely brilliant, did her due diligence and said, from what I see online, she is indeed the stepmother of one of the boys involved in this case. And we put her name in there, that she's Ashley. My producer, show director, who's incredible at his job, said, "Calling her now." What time is this? This was sent to us at 9:33 a.m. on the 17th, which is nearly a full 24 hours. And then we see Grant here at 10:22 a.m. said, "I'm going to call her or call her now." Now let's go to the call log. This is Miss Cole in our in Grant's phone. This is the phone call that occurred on 7/17/2026 at 10:23, which is a minute after he told my executive assistant that he would give her a call. The call lasted 8 minutes, as you can see. Now, how in the world are people out here saying that Officer Tatum only picked one side? Officer Tatum was just going out and looking out for the white man and looking out for the boys. I have never reached out to them to talk to them at all. I did reach out to Benjamin Crump. They ended up reaching out to me. That's why I accepted. Let me calm the temperature down, have a conversation. And then I'm going to show you Don Lemon Juice and Nolan's mother talking about me on his show. And then we're going to just completely wipe the floor with D.L. Hughley, Mr. Wash-Up comedian. Okay, but let me just give you guys a quick synopsis on how this happened. I laid the foundation on how it started. Benjamin Crump never responded to me. They reached out to me. I said, okay, I'll give you guys an opportunity. Let's talk. And I had to vet them and make sure that they weren't sitting there lying to me and making up stories on my platform. And they had to vet me to make sure that I'm a legitimate podcaster, that I'm going to give the boys at least credence if they're on my show telling their story. We fly out there. We had no promise of an interview with none of the kids. The first day we got there, and I said this on TMZ, the first day we got there, we were invited to a dinner. We sat down at a dinner. There were a few boys, their parents, and I think one of the attorneys was there, and we sat down and had a dinner. They did not want to discuss details of the case with us at the dinner. We did, however, because one of the parents was zealous enough to say, look, man, just look at maybe 2 things that the person had, because they were eager to be like, they're lying about our kids. Look at this, they lying. And so we had maybe like a couple items like that occurred during the dinner. And during the dinner, and people try to act like these families are, one of the moms was crying because of what this had done to the community, not only for her children, but for Nolan. They knew Nolan. They were friends with Nolan. She's crying at the fact that this has all happened when this was Nolan's friends. And so that's how the dinner went. Moving forward, we went to Horn Island. We got more information from the other boys that were accused initially. I didn't talk to every single person that's involved in this. I only talked to 4 boys, 5 boys if you add Tristan. So the 4 boys they originally accused, we talked to them, had some conversations. We went to Horn Island. Some things were described. They didn't want to be on camera. They didn't want to give us a statement, and I was fine with that. And then when I say statement, meaning on camera, then we went to the Airbnb that we had scheduled. We set up the thing. Eventually, they said, okay, Warren is going to give an interview. We said, all right, we already ready for him. Come give the interview. Warren was there. His lawyer was there. And then there was other people that was in Warren's team that was in another room separate from where we did the podcast. And I would argue they couldn't hear because it was way on the other side of the Airbnb. So with that being said, we did the interview with Warren. Before we started the interview, Tristan came over. I talked to Tristan and Warren before all that, and they were just talking. I don't know what happened, so I'm not interjecting anything. I'm just listening. And Tristan is saying a lot of incredible things that Warren was not privy to because Warren and Tristan weren't on the same boat. They didn't come in and they didn't leave together. However, they are friends that share a same community friend group. Let's move forward. We interview Warren. Interview is over. We come back and we were like, okay, none of the other boys want to come interview, which I would have liked for all of them to be there at the same time because they all got different pieces of the puzzle to put together because they were in different places at different times in part. Then we go, let's just interview Tristan while he's here. He's here. He seems like a very genuine young man. Let's just see what he has to say. I could not rehearse any of these things because I don't know none of what happened. I've only heard Benjamin Crump them side. So I'm asking basic questions. If you watch the interview, I'm just asking basic questions of them. Like, well, do you know how did you get the phone? Why was his phone left on the boat? I'm asking basic questions that a journalist would ask of them, and they gave me an answer. Now, I will say this. I verified nearly everything that they were telling me before I did the interview because I was not going to go down to Mississippi and interview somebody that I haven't vetted that will sit on my podcast and tell a flat out lie. Let me just put this in perspective. I was not going to accept Warren or anybody to get on my podcast and say, I didn't have nothing to do with anything. Blah, 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 blah. And then after the podcast, the investigation yielded that they were primary suspects in killing Nolan Wells. You think I'm stupid enough to have somebody on there saying all that on my platform? I don't need the interview. I'm already doing my thing. I had already been talking about the case before talking to anybody, and my coverage is premier. So when they were talking to me and giving me information before the show and at Horn Island and stuff, they showing me. I say, well, do you got evidence of this stuff? Yeah, right here. This is when I called Nolan's mom. Here's when I called her twice. Here's when I called the Coast Guard. Here's us coordinating together to go search for and helping the search for Nolan the next day. Here's who came with me. Here's all of our testimony. And I'm looking at them, but like, wow. We went out to Horn Island on the boat. They said, this is where we docked from. They showed me video of everybody getting on that boat, which we shared. And then we get on the boat, we go out there. We went the same path that they went. We went to Horn Island. They told me exactly where they believed they were at and what was going on. They showed me video of them there and what was going on, amateur photos or amateur video, which we shared on social media. So y'all have access to all of that, or at least most of what they had. Some things it had other people in it, we couldn't show it because they are not associated and they don't deserve to be doxxed. And then we didn't have their permission to share it. And then we go back and they explain the bilge pump and all that other stuff and what was happening and how they were sinking. And they were explaining all these boat terms that everybody that have ever ridden a boat or advocates of boat, you know exactly what they're talking about. But they were saying how it was taking on water and how it was water up to the batteries and all of this other stuff. And that they had to be towed out to get on plane, which means that once they get to a certain point, the water can begin to be dumped out. And as they keep going, it pulls the water out the back and all this other stuff that I have no idea because I never read on a boat except that one time. So they're explaining all this, and they're explaining where they got told to, and that they were here, and then once they got up to speed, they could go here. And then you could see on the GPS tracking in the Life 360 is that they were told at a slow speed, and then all of a sudden they pick up normal speed. And that's because they had fixed the issue, and they ended up going where they needed to go. They showed me where they all were going to congregate at and have a party with Nolan and everybody else. They showed me all of these different components. And then we go do an interview. And there was nothing in the interview, I think, that caught me by surprise because they had to show evidence to a lot of the things that they were being accused of. Lawyer was sitting right there in the room. So people don't understand that aspect of it. Now, I've said enough. Let me get to Don Lemonhead and Nolan's mother. I'm going to be respectful to his mama. But I do have criticisms. When you watch this video, you're going to see why I have criticisms. Roll the clip.
When you talk about all the things that have been spread, there is this officer, I hate mentioning his name, a former officer who is a far right wing, who's been doing the interviews and has been saying, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not even going to comment on Brandon Tatum. No.
Time out. Do you guys find that kind of suspicious or interesting that Don Lemon said, I'm not going to mention his name? Fair enough. If you don't want to give a person publicity, if you don't believe they're legitimate, you won't say the person's name. He said, I'm not going to say his name is this officer, right? Then mom gets on, and you would think she would say, I'm not talking about that dude. He's irrelevant. He's not worth my time. I'm not talking about this guy you talking about either. Why would she say Brandon Tatum? She put my full name out there. And in my personal opinion, she wants people who hate me to come out and know who I am and search me and do all that other stuff, but refuse to address specific things that they're saying, that I'm saying. And they have never addressed some of the things that the boys have said. You have not heard them address the phone thing. You have not addressed them because Warren said that he told Nolan's mother that he had the cell phone and the keys. They have not said that he lied about it. They won't even talk about it. It came up on Chris Cuomo, and you guys will see that shortly. It came up on Chris Cuomo, and they pivoted. They didn't even address what Cuomo said. They just pivoted to something else. All right, continue.
I respect that. And that's the right answer for everybody, I believe. And I feel like, because I mentioned him, I'm like, why did I even mention him? Because he doesn't deserve a platform.
No, he does not.
So let's talk about the people, the young men that he's been interviewing. They're saying they're his best friends. Some of them you said that you don't know. One of them even said, "Oh, Nolan would be outraged by the way his parents are handling this." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Like, why on earth would somebody go on and say that about a grieving family?" But
again, distraction. We're not even going to address them or that man. We only want the truth. Again, at the end of the day, I'm going to say it like I've been saying it. The only question we have is what happened to Nolan. That's what we need to know. That's it. That's all.
When you talk about all the...
Oh, I'm talking about Mama. I got a question for you. With all due respect, why then, if you want to know what happened to Nolan, did your attorney not talk to me before I ever talked to the other side? All right, we passed that point. How come when Nicole or Ashley reached out to you via text, which she showed me, which we posted online, that you didn't respond to Warren's mother to even talk to her and get any information that she may have? The boys already have been investigated by law enforcement. We will not know exactly what they said for a time period, which could be a long time. I don't know. They got to go to grand jury and everything. So we will never know what they said to the police unless you talk to them directly. Why, if you want to know what happened to your son, would you talk to the people that last seen him alive? You're saying they saw him alive last. They're reaching out to you and saying, we want to talk. Let's have a conversation. But instead, you guys refuse to talk to them, refuse to talk to me, and then get online and push stuff that you have to later redact because you could have talked to them first and cleared it up, talked to their attorneys and cleared it up. You could have gotten all the boys' statements that have been compiled before the police put it out in the public so you can have a clear perspective before you go out in the public. But they did not do it. You know what they did? The first thing they did before they talked to any parent, any person involved, before they talked to anybody, they went and got Benjamin Crump. And they went and got Benjamin Crump, and what are they doing? The day that their son is put into the ground, they go get his estate, establish an estate, and then prepare to sue. Now, if you don't know what happened and you have not made a determination, all you want to know is what happened, then why are you prepping to sue people? You're going to sue them for what? I'm not prepping to sue anybody. I'm not acting like I know exactly what happened to Nolan. I'm just taking the information that's presented to me and saying, this is what they're saying. They show evidence of this. What do the other people got to say? But y'all already talking about suing people, already getting an estate in his name the day he's put in arrest on his funeral. Because you're already looking at suing people in a lawsuit, and when you don't even know yet what happened to your son. But what's really happened is they already made up in their mind that they're going to blame these white boys. And so anybody saying anything to the contrary of what they're pursuing, they say, oh, I don't want to hear from this person. Oh, that person is illegitimate. Oh, my son wasn't friends with these boys. He wasn't friends with them? Maybe you just wasn't aware that he was friends with them, but according to social media and Instagram and photos and him staying the night over their house and him leaving his car at their house and him going out to Horn Island with them, he's not their friend? Well, then who is his friend? And why wasn't he hanging out with them and not these white boys when he's at home 3 or 4 days a week? So they all just made this up. Hey, I'm not there. I wasn't there. All right, let him finish.
The father of one of the young men who's been speaking out has put up a $50,000 reward reportedly. What do you think of that, Ben or Elmore or Christine?
Yeah, we are happy with anybody who wants to share the objective to get into the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells. So we applaud it and we say, yeah, let's all work together to get answers, because we, as we've said continuously, Don Lemon, adamantly, somebody saw something, somebody knows something. I mean, and that's what you want, are answers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that was true, then his dad put up a $50,000 thing. Why don't you talk to him? Why don't you ring them and give them a phone call? You're saying y'all all going for no. Why don't you call the man and talk to him and see what he know? Instead of putting out fake information about his child, saying that his child must have been involved, sharing his picture all over the internet with no information, then saying that he must have got into a fight when the coach, Nolan's coach, said that wasn't his voice on the thing. And you can't tell me that his parents don't know that that little boat scuffle wasn't their son's voice. But yet they let Benjamin Crump put that on the internet to frame it as if these white boys must have done something to him. You want unity, but you're not talking to nobody and you just making up lies. If you talk to these boys, if they at least attempted to talk to these boys, they'll know who was on the boat. And instead of listening to a doctored phone call with a made-up transcript, they could go and talk to each boy and say, well, what did you say then? Is that you on a thing? Okay, what did you say? Is that you? Well, what did you actually say? Is that you? What did you say? Okay. They're saying that they said this. Oh, they told this to the police. Then maybe we can chill a little bit on the accusations until we get more evidence. But that's not what they want. Roll the clip.
I wasn't even going to address it, but someone said that he dropped something about me, like threatening something. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I don't even know who this dude is. I met him at a conference. We were in a room together, and it was just bizarre. So he's talking about something I don't even know. I looked at like the beginning of it and I said, this shit doesn't even make sense. I don't know what he's talking about. And I choose to spend my time wisely. And
now the only reason that I didn't just completely blast him is because in part, I want to keep a private conversation private. Now, Don Lemon know exactly what I'm talking about. I will give him a hint. He claims, oh, I'm not doing this for the money. And this is what stood out to me and why I lost respect for Don Lemon even more when we were at this conference, because he says, I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for the money. And the question that he asked of the YouTube staff regarding things that makes him money was off-putting to me. Because he had made mention, I'm trying to not, forget these people. Let me tell you what it is. It was associated with memberships. He know what I'm talking about. It was associated with the membership program. I have a membership program. We were there to talk about the membership program. And let me tell you what lame stuff this fool did at the conference. That's why he's such a wankster, and these people are such liars, and he looks uncomfortable talking about me. We at the conference, me and him supposed to be on a panel together to talk about memberships, to talk about to the crowd of YouTubers what we learn in order to be prolific and be able to do things for our audience that have them engage in our membership programs. They decided that I was one that did the membership program really well. Young Turks was there. Somebody representing Rashawn Ryan was there. Somebody representing Tucker Carlson was there. It was a whole bunch of people there. And so they wanted to know from me and Don Lemon what things that we've done to be successful in our membership program. They called me on the phone before I flew out there. They said, you and Don Lemon going to be on a panel. Now, I don't like Don Lemon, but I don't care. I'm a grown man. I don't care about being on a panel with somebody. As long as the homeboy ain't trying to touch me, then I ain't got a problem. This is what he did. Don Lemon is sitting in front of me at this conference. I'm here. Don Lemon is sitting in front of me with his assistant, or whoever this lady is, with a mask on. She had a mask on. You're like, what the, man, what do you got a mask? All right, so anyway, our segment is getting ready to come up. Don Lemon walks out of the room. YouTube had to put a random person on the panel because this fool didn't want to sit on the panel with me, claiming he don't even know who I am. So we do the YouTube thing. Unfortunately, this girl on the panel, and she don't add any input because she's not even supposed to be on the panel anyway. She was a random YouTube worker that they had to put on the panel to replace this nut job. And then because he's a wankster, he didn't know I was going to be in the second meeting, which was a private meeting with only like 4 people in the meeting with some of the YouTube executives. We go back in there. He comes in the room looking like a scarecrow. Because he see, you know when you face the people that you talk trash about and you see them in person and you're a wankster, so you got butterflies in your stomach. That's what he had when he saw me. Now, I didn't say nothing disrespectful to him, even though I don't like him. But I just kept it kosher. Me and him didn't have a confrontation. But he said some things in there about his membership program, and I'm like, bro, that's a little, to me, you contradict yourself when you go, I'm not looking at the money, but you asking them questions about certain things that I think will enrich you in that area that I think is unnecessary, that I would never do. But I'll leave it at that. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to disparage nobody. I'm just saying, bro, don't get out here trying to say I'm making money off of this and I'm doing it for money. When one of the things that you said shocked me about, why would you say that, dude? That's kind of like grimy a little bit, in my opinion. It's not illegal. I don't think it's wrong. It's just not genuine, in my opinion. Let him finish.
And to keep my peace. And so, but sometimes things just fall right into your lap. And I don't even have to do it. The Lord works in mysterious ways. So whatever that nonsense that, what's his name? What do they call him? His nickname, Race Batum Tatum? Whatever he's talking about, I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck what you think about me because I don't think anything about you.
Sure, that's why you're talking about me on your show right now. So keep talking about me on your show. Come on, keep it up. All right,
I don't even know who you are. I didn't know who you were until they said, are you okay with this? And I was like, sure. And then I looked, I was like, oh, this dude, I've never seen him, but wow. So I don't even know who you are. And so what I'm going to let my friend, by the way, who I'm going on tour with, D.L. Hughley, speak for not only me, but for a whole lot of people. I don't even have to do the work. Sometimes you just don't have to do it. So I will let D.L. Hughley, and this is, unless there's something really offensive, I don't even know if I'm going to respond to whatever, to that, because I believe you don't even Sometimes you shouldn't even speak people's names. You don't cast your pearls before swine. But I'll let DL do the work in regards to race Tatum. Hello, friend DL.
All right. So what we did was, y'all already seen this clip of D.L. Hughley talking trash about me, so we kind of accelerated it because we really want to hear Don Lemon's response. But while he's quoting the scripture, how about you write down this, Don Lemon, Romans 1:27. How about you write that scripture down and regurgitate that on your platform next? Since you think you know scripture, you talking about God putting stuff in your lap. He didn't put that man in your lap, did he? Okay, that's what I thought. All right, let's go and listen to the rest of this and hear his commentary on this. Roll it.
Oh, Hughley.
This is Brandon Tatum.
Y'all just see what
What I want to know is, who the taught you to hate us?
Thank you, DL. That was on DL's show, Uncertain. Go check it out. It's on YouTube. DL Hughley, Uncertain. And also,
I don't think y'all want to do this. They talking about me. Look at D.L. Hughley's. He got, what is that? I have 13 times. Nick, is that the right math? I got 13 times the following that D.L. Hughley has. And D.L. Hughley been doing this before I was alive. Let's continue. Roll it.
I'll give you our tour dates coming up after this because we want to educate people about what's going on, and for people like Brandon Tatum. Let me just tell you this because DL reminded me of something. I'm not going to be chastised by a child. I'm not afraid of a child. I don't care. I don't care what you say about me. Yeah, you were 5 years old when I started doing this. I've been doing this for a long time. You know my name. I don't even know your name. I had never heard of you, and I don't really care. But so I'm going back and looking at that you said, man, you can't even see yourself. It's embarrassing.
He been doing this since I was 5. D.L. Hughley been doing this since when I wasn't even alive yet. But yet I have almost 13 times amount of followers on YouTube, people that support me and follow my channel. I've amassed that much subscriptions on just YouTube. And y'all been around for your whole life, and I only been here for what, 6 years? 7 years. And then this fool said he was doing this since he was 5. I got almost 3 times as many people follow me on my social media platform than he does. I'm not saying it's all about following, but you can't act like I'm illegitimate. You can't act like I'm not putting in the work. You can't act like I'm not a journalist when I have that much following. We have 40 million views a month on our YouTube plus, and we got 200 million views a month on Instagram. That's not through osmosis, my man. That's because I put in the work, and that's because I got a great reputation. That's because I'm doing the right thing. Y'all, you had the backing of CNN, a multi-billion-dollar organization, and you still can't amass real people that want to listen to what you got to say. They fired you. And you've been working for the white man, I don't know how long. I work for a black man. You work for a white man. And the black man is me, and the white man is the man that's at your house right now, and then the other people you used to work for. Roll it.
You should just peruse and go through and see what's up. Not that you have to care about public sentiment all the time, but my God today, sir, I've been doing this for 35 years, and you know my name, and everybody knows my name, and everybody knows my career. I got to the top of my craft and still am there. What do you do? What did you do? So,
real quick, let's just, y'all keep this marked on your calendar. In 35 years, if you had to bet money on it, do you think that I would be more successful and have more of an impact in the world than Don Lemon Juice? I'm already ahead of him in 6 years. I'm 39. So I don't know the math. He said he'd been doing it for 35 years. So I was 4. I was nearly my son's age when he started. And look at how much ground I've made up. And I never worked for a corporation. Never worked for a major corporation. Nobody gave me nothing. I built this from scratch. Now what you got to say, bro? You got CNN I almost said pumping you up. No weirdness intended. You got CNN on your back. I mean, pumping you up. I mean, I don't know what to say without it being gay, but you got CNN supporting you. And you still where you at. Come on, bro. All right, let's get to the next thing. I think this next clip is probably not a full story worthy, but just to throw this out there for you guys so you know what's going on is that, as we can see right here in the clip, I think we got it on the screen, is that Warren's stepmother, Miss Cole, Judge Cole, is getting death threats, and this person, I believe, just got arrested for it. So all this hatred and all of these lies and aspersions that you guys are putting towards the judge, her son, and all of this is leading them to get death threats. They're not getting death threats just because they exist. They're getting death threats because you guys are lying on their names. You're insinuating and putting out there that they had something to do with Nolan's death and they're covering it up. It's videos of y'all saying there's a cover up and all of this, bruh. And now people trying to kill him and they're going to jail. I think that Judge Cole, I think that Warren's family, they have a lot of grounds to sue some of y'all because nothing that you're saying is rooted in evidence, and you have every reason to believe that what you're saying is a lie based on what has already been presented to the public, and then wait till the police reports come out and these kids are cleared. Y'all gonna be bankrupt. I would argue, and people think that I should get sued for something. How am I gonna get sued for just interviewing somebody? Okay. Here's DL Crybaby Hughley. He should be interviewing that dude that, let me not say that. Let me not go down to their level. Next, roll it.
It's interesting that Brandon Tatum is welcome in Mississippi when Ben Crump and Al Sharpton are not, for the exact same reason that Stephen A. Smith is welcome at ESPN and Ryan Clark are not. Is not.
I'm welcome in Mississippi by who? I just talked to boys and got out of there. Benjamin Crump spent the week there and did a press conference there. Who said he wasn't welcome? Who told him he couldn't be there? The governor didn't say he couldn't be there. The prosecutors didn't say he couldn't be there. They just said he had came and pushed racism and division in the community and left. You're just making this up, DL. Keep rolling.
Anybody who says or asks questions, you talking about a state that got mad because they tried to read. And now the new extrapolation of that, the new extension of that is people having internet.
Somebody go check on DL. I be just making up stuff. The state don't want people to read. What she saying to me? The state don't want people to read. Mississippi, it's so racist in Mississippi, they don't want people to read out there. He's saying they don't want black people to read. Because last time I checked, Mississippi has 2 major universities there. But you want it to be about a black-white thing. You wanted to act like black people can't. Nolan could read. Nolan and all his black friends go out there at white schools, living their best life. But somehow DL think it's racist. You ain't even been to Mississippi. Can't point to a single thing at Mississippi. Let me just give you the stat and I'm gonna let him finish because there's a couple more clips. Y'all think about this. 3,500 black people have been murdered in the last 10 years by other black people in Mississippi. And yet they ain't mentioned not one black person has been murdered in Mississippi. Not one. I think if you look at the death toll of black people in Mississippi, who's the most responsible for killing black people in Mississippi? Is it the white man? Is it the sundown town, the clans, or is it other black people? Clearly, 98% of every black person that's been killed in Mississippi been killed by another black person. But the boogeyman is the white man. Why? Continue.
And you know why I can't, that Brandon, I'm not going to call myself Officer Tatum because it's sucker to call yourself the job you used to have. It is. If we were together and we ain't no more, I'm your ex, right?
Yeah.
Right? I'm your ex.
Not with him. He's still your boyfriend.
That's how you know. When you're a black man, they make you hold the shit you used to be, so it holds weight now. It holds weight now. I'm not knocking this dude. He looks like the kind of man that would have to marry a white woman. He does. He does. He looks like anytime a man called himself what he used to be, he was a football player and failed at that. Then he found his way into police work, right? Now he's out of that. Now he's always looking for the same adulates and same cheers he used to get on the football field. And usually them came from white coaches. So he's only doing what he's been trained to do.
Now, I want to address each one of these. This is why these people are nonsensical. We can go back to the very beginning of what he's saying, that I'm a man that can only marry a white woman. What are you trying to say about, are you disparaging white women? Are you trying to say that a white woman can't get a good man? Or that white women are only marrying men who are less than? Are you saying that another brother is less than when you're supposed to be Mr. Black, blackity black community? I'm less than because I married a white woman? Now, I grew up in the black community, you fake Negroes. Don't try to play me. I'm the Negro whisperer. I'm the whistleblower. I know how they treat black people in the hood that ain't all black, that's mixed. Yeah, light-skinned brothers, how they get treated. I know when I was growing up, you couldn't bring a white girl home or people would trash you. That's racism. And then you mad if a white person say you can't bring a black girl home, which you ain't never gonna hear no white people on TV saying it. But you hear this dude got a big old podcast saying that it's wrong to marry a white woman if you black. It's crazy. And let's go to the football and stuff. Most of your coaches were white coaches. Dude, I went to Paul Laurence Dunbar High School. And my coach was white at Paul Laurence Dunbar High School because that white man loved us more than black people did. Coach Jones loved us more and gave us more opportunity than black people did. And black people hated Coach Jones when he first got there. But what did Coach Jones produce out of that university, out of that high school that black people could never do, is that, and it happened since Coach Jones left. When Coach Jones was there, we had 9 D1 football players on our team. 4 of us were U.S. Army All-Americans. Ernest Mason, DJ Davis, my brother Bobby, and me were all U.S. Army All-Americans on one team. Never in the history of the United States of America, well, at least we were the first in the history, to have 2 U.S. Army All-Americans on one team. Now, I'm not saying it ain't, because I don't live in that world of black and white. That dude was a good man. You brought his race up. Coach Hughes was a black coach on the basketball team, the most winningest coach ever in basketball history in the United States of America. He was a black guy. Coach Jones, Coach Hughes got along. We ain't had no problem with that race stuff. And then when I went to the University of Arizona, the strength and conditioning coach, Coach Edmond, was a black man. We saw him, we loved him, we had more involvement, and he invested in our lives as athletes more than our head coach did and our defensive back coach. So what are you talking about? A black man was the one that did our strength and conditioning and made sure we were equipped to get on the football field. Nobody's thinking about that stupid stuff. And then let's talk about my career on the police department. I didn't fail as a football player and then I ran to the law enforcement officers. No, dude, I played college football. I was a U.S. Army All-American. I played at the University of Arizona. I was in the NFL draft. I didn't get drafted, and I didn't pursue it. I didn't love football enough to keep pursuing it. And that's fine, because I'm probably more successful now than I would ever been as a football player. I'm more successful than just about any football player that I played with that's not playing football no more. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, then I went to policing because I needed a job. And as a grown man, I wasn't going to sit around and make excuses and not have income coming in for my child. So I said, I'm going to do what it takes to make it happen. I became a police officer. I love being a police officer. It was the greatest thing that I've ever done in my life. It was the most honorable thing I ever did in my life. I was putting my life on the line, saving black people, while people like D.L. Hughley telling jokes. You will never be able to be the man that I am, ever. You will never be able to say that you put your life on the line for anybody. Now, I did that. I love that. I was the youngest PIO in the history of the Tucson Police Department as a black man. All you haters out there on a majority white police department. Then I was on a SWAT team. I was a field training officer. I taught new officers how to be officers. You can go down the list. Before I left, I was getting ready to promote, or at least to test to promote, to become a sergeant. I never wanted to be a detective. I can't sit in the office all day. I needed to be on the SWAT team and be active, and I was going to end up being a sergeant. What are you saying, bruh? You don't know what you're talking about. God decided to move me in a different direction. And now I got more influence than I can dream of. Billions of views on YouTube. God knew what he was doing. But y'all don't believe in God, so you still going in a circle in your life, which you've been doing this my whole life and ain't done nothing. You still ain't the top comedian. Kevin Hart then came in and did everything that you could dream of doing in I don't know, in a decade. You still ain't the top of your game. All right, let him finish. I'm running out of time. Keep going.
This dude is it, and now to get there, and this dude's talking about he was on cocaine, and listen to this.
Someone close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. This person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time.
If
Pause it. Now, why don't DL play the whole clip? Ask yourself this question. They want to be right so bad that they willing to cut pieces and lie. I clearly said in the beginning, somebody else said this. And then I go on to say, I don't believe this. I'm just giving you guys as a journalist what people are coming and telling me and claiming these things. So if it comes out, you know that these people that are talking to me know more about this than what the people are alluding to. And then I said, I'm not accepting this until the toxicology results come out. He knows because he has the clip what I said, but he leaves it out so he can frame it as something that I did not say. I never made the claim that he was on cocaine. I never made that claim. But when people are coming and talking to me and they're showing me that this person said this and they're giving testimony from people, they're alluding to some things that I think people need to be paying attention to. Continue.
he was in fact on cocaine and did cocaine and alcohol, the best time to do shit like that is when you're young. If he were a 50-year-old dude doing it, established-year-old dude doing it, it would be a blight. But all of us, I've done cocaine, right? I have.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Hold up.
I've done cocaine. You've done cocaine, right?
No.
Well, you from Africa. I don't know what you did.
I have not done cocaine.
Okay, I have. Have you done cocaine
First of all,
before?
my mama watching this.
It
You ain't supposed to be saying shit like I done cocaine. You done. How about we just say everybody here has done shit?
Okay, that's better. The most salient point of it, we used to do something.
Okay.
There
But
you go.
when you're trying to rely, I guarantee you that if that man, that little boy did that, everybody else, if he did cocaine, he didn't come there with it. They gave it to him.
All right, let me address this. Put me back. Let me address this real quick. Everybody, he said he took cocaine. Dude, I thought you was trying to make a point. How you gonna say, and I said something about it, right? This is what he did to me. He said, Brandon should be ashamed of himself saying that Nolan took cocaine. I never said it. People had told me that he did it. That's their statements, and I made it very clear. But then in the second sentence, he acts like taking cocaine is not a big deal anyway. He said he took cocaine. Then he tried to say everybody on the show must have took cocaine. And so why are you mad at me if I said that somebody told me Nolan took cocaine? Why are you mad at me when you saying it's okay to take cocaine and that you took it and you think the best time to take it is when at Nolan's age? You saying everybody on the show is taking cocaine and you say cocaine ain't a big deal. And if he did take cocaine, somebody gave it to him. Which is exactly what I mentioned in the thing that I said. Somebody told me that there was somebody giving out cocaine. And that his name has been out there, but I'm not putting it out there because the authorities need to do that. But I said somebody was giving out cocaine based on what people are. I said that somebody told me people were giving out cocaine, which would be an indicator that somebody needs to go to jail for giving underage people or people cocaine in the first place. But y'all don't care about the person who committed the crime. You care about talking about me. Why don't we go after the person that potentially gave Nolan and other people cocaine, potentially, based on what somebody said? Why y'all mad at me? Why don't you go after the guy that did it? How about you acknowledge that this is what people are saying so it may give you some idea of what could have happened to Nolan? Instead of y'all just blaming the white boys, maybe there's a guy that gave Nolan cocaine and maybe he OD'd on cocaine or something. And if that's the case, then why don't we pursue the person who gave it to him and put them in jail? But y'all don't even care about nobody going to jail for this. You just want it to be white man bad and B. Tatum is a sellout. Roll the clip.
This
Last
dude
one.
right here, the reason that they would speak to him as opposed to law enforcement is because he is a listening ear. He's a sympathetic ear.
He's a safe ear.
He's a safe. And the only reason people on the right with black people is if they safe. They're predictable.
Time out. I ain't gonna lie, I like his AI stuff. That's pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie. Studio looks cool. The set looks cool. His AI stuff is funny. I give him that. Brother, you just said, can we start the clip? I mean, just go back to the clip where the part, and I'm gonna be done with this segment. We'll get to the last video. But go back to where D.L. Hughley said they talked to him and not law enforcement. I want you to go back to that because I want Warren's lawyer, and we'll send it to Warren's lawyer, and we're gonna send it to the world so people can see when these boys start suing these people for lying, not reporting something somebody said. You lied, DL. It's a proven lie, and you better redact this because you just lied on them. The part where he said they talked to Brandon instead of law enforcement. Roll the clip.
This dude right here, the reason that they would speak to him as opposed to law enforcement is because he is a listening ear. He's a sympathetic.
So you're saying, DL, that they didn't talk to law enforcement. You're saying that they said that. You said they. I only interviewed 2. So are you saying, D.L. Hughley, out of your mouth, that they talked to me instead of talking to law enforcement? Is that your position? You better correct it. Because if not, if that's your position, you are lying because they talked to law enforcement before they ever talked to me. I'm engaging with them like 2 weeks after this happened. They already talked to law enforcement. Law enforcement already interviewed 60 people 2 weeks ago, including Warren and a bunch of other boys that did a computer voice stress analysis, which is equivalent of a lie detector test or equivalent of a polygraph test. Just a polygraph is a little more intrusive, but it's still used by almost every department, modern department around the country to hire everybody that they hire. It's not really admissible in court, but it's used for reasonable suspicion and finding out is somebody being truthful or not. But my dog, they already interviewed these boys. I'm 2 weeks of getting their message to the public, and you on your thing lying. This is why y'all believe they did it, because you don't even know the facts. Last clip, roll it.
And if and when, and somebody's going to have done something, if and when, and now I understand that the family, Nolan Wells' family, is serving his friends notices. Mm-hmm. I will tell you this: if and when we find out that somebody was involved or somebody knew about it, they should sue not only them, but they should sue Brandon Tatum too. You inserted yourself in that. You want a bite of this shit, why don't you take your part? Right. I guarantee you should have a part of it, because that's what happens. You wanted to be an influencer? Okay. Play that game. You wanted to. I have never, like the one thing, and I'll leave it here, because he said, you can't make me hate white people. I would never want you to hate anybody. I'm not asking you to hate white people. I'm asking you who made you hate us.
Us. I love my mama. Ask my mama, do I love my mama? Do I love my daddy? I just got my daddy at a suite in Vegas. He had a really good time with my stepmama in Vegas doing their thing for my father's birthday. I talk to my daddy at least every week. My mama lived with us, not in our house, but she lived out in Arizona with us. I take care of my mama, don't have to worry about nothing. That's a black woman. Are y'all mad at me? My uncles didn't agree with me. My Uncle Derek don't agree all the time. But my uncles agree with me. I don't like them black people. My niece and nephews. Birthdays and stuff just came up. I support them. My cousin that went to prison, I told you he went to prison, and that's, his case to litigate. But he's been in prison for like 14, 15 years. I support his daughter, got her a first car. I helped get her first car. And I put money on his books, his Secures, J-Pay. Now they moved to Secures. I don't know, for like 3 or 4 years now. 3 years now. I max his books out every month. But I don't like black people. I just don't like you nut jobs. You fake folk. I started Blexit in 2018 to support and help the black community. We had chapters in 50 states where we do back to school drives and everything for the black community. The problem was some of y'all black folks don't even want to participate in things that help black people. So we had a whole bunch of white people and Mexicans volunteering their time to help black people in Blexit organization. I was responsible for taking the first black conservative leaders to the White House, 400 of them. I helped raise money. Shout out to the white people that gave. I got one black man to give $20,000. We had to raise $400,000 to get 400 black people. It was about $1,000 a piece because we covered travel, hotel stay to get them to the White House. President Trump set it up that they can be there. We had to raise money so they didn't have to worry about it. We could scholarship them because a lot of people can't afford to fly to D.C. It was young girls didn't even have a dress because they never been anywhere formal. My white wife, got one young lady a formal dress, bought her a dress so she can go to the White House. Y'all just don't like us black people. You think I don't like you ignorant ones. You can't say that I don't love black people. You can't say all the things that I've done for black people. Sakaria Turner, her family, she gets shot in the Jack in the Box parking lot. D.L. Hughley probably never mentioned her name. Young girl gets murdered. Her mama don't have a cell phone. Her mama car shot up, so they don't have no transportation or nothing. Her daughter dies in her arms. She had $14,000 in her GoFundMe. And y'all don't want nobody paid for her. No, I'll take that back. She only had 14 in her thing. Tyler Perry paid for her funeral. I raised $230,000 for her. But I don't care about black people. The black officer they getting ready to fire because a white person said something shady to him. They getting ready to fire this black man. They took his gun and everything. We raised $75,000 for him. What are you talking about, bruh? What are you talking about? All the black candidates running for office that we've supported. But you know, D.L. Hughley don't do nothing for it. I'm trying to get to the bottom of what happened to a young black man that died in Horn Island. Y'all trying to get to the bag and get to racism. I'm getting to the bottom of it. Y'all didn't dare go interview nobody because you too racist to care. I'm not looking at race. I'm looking at results. Let me say this. D.L. Hughley and them the most racist people that you'll ever hear. I think it is wrong to say something or predict something or project something off somebody based on their race alone. You got to quit talking about these white people when you got skeletons in your closet. You know, and I'm pointed out as a person that says, I think black people can do better than this. I think black people should do better than this. I don't know why black people can't have their own businesses and stuff. Now, you got to think about it. I'm done with doing this in the black community. I will never in my life put all of my attention on just black people. I'll never do that. I have a blended family and I have a blended extended family, which means that I believe in people who love Jesus Christ. Y'all are my family too. So I'm not gonna go and just help black kids and then leave white kids that are struggling aside because they not black. I'm never gonna go out and not help Mexican kids because I wanna help white kids and so on and so forth. My thing is I wanna help everybody be better. We're done with this racist stuff in America. We're done with it. It's based on your character. If you're a good person, you my people. If you're a dirtbag, you ain't my people. Now, mind you, they go, yo people, you didn't turn on your people. Are you claiming these rappers out here with drill music killing each other every day? Are you claiming the brothers that killed Extension or whatever his name was? Young Dolph, Sean Taylor, my favorite football player, D. Williams, who's the GOAT, came from Fort Worth, Texas, went to OD Wide, one of the only brothers that made it to the NFL, get shot up in a drive-by shooting in Denver, Colorado. He was the hero in our community. Who killed him? Black people. You want to go down the list? Are you saying these your people doing team takeovers every other weekend? You got to think 98% of black homicides or black homicide victims, the perpetrator is a black man. Are they your round too? Why do you think all your celebrity friends don't live in the inner city? Because it's too much drama and it's too much crime going on. It's not conducive for success and growth. I got to stop because we're running out of time in the studio. Oh man, I'm already out of time. Success, they go and they hanging out with white folks. These people are attorneys, their agents are white people. But they coming to you talking about black, blackity black. Even D.L. Hughley, the organization that run for him, it looked like the CEO is a black person because it was a family business passed down. But before the company that he works for now was acquired, it was run by a white man. And then some of the people at the executive team on that company today is some white people. So quit acting like you just so pro-black. Y'all white people watch your comedy too. You wouldn't even be nowhere if black people only watch Kings of Comedy. There ain't enough black people to watch Kings of Comedy and make it successful. All right, I'm done. Hey, for everybody that's watching, see, I gave y'all a whole bunch of stuff to clip, all right? So you go put the content out on the internet. But for the members, thank y'all for being members. I want to do post-show clarity. We're going to do 10 minutes, and that's it. I want to give a debrief. Post-show clarity, for those who are new to the channel, is a way for me to give a debrief. Once I'm done with the show, once I'm done talking about it, I answer questions. I do a little, just having fun. It's something a little different than the heady stuff that I do on my show. And so if you're not a member, just hit that join button. Becoming a rookie is $2.99 a month. If you're interested, I don't need your money. This is just a way, if you want to support what we're doing, you can support what we're doing. I do not need your money. I just know that there's people that want a little more. They want to be involved a little more, and we're giving them the opportunity. But your boy, I am doing fine, okay? My team, we work hard enough that we are doing okay. I love you guys. For those of you who are members, I'll see you on the other side on Post-Show Clarity. We out.